Hello, Marco. This is Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metal Chaos. How are you?
Hey man, I'm good. I'm doing fine. All good.
Love the background with the guitars, man. It speaks.
It's my little man cave studio thing. So yeah, yeah.
It speaks volume. About.
Yeah,
So,
it's my
you were about to say something, and I interrupted you.
no, I was just gonna say it's my escape room. So that's the only thing.
Every lucky person has an escape room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Crown of Thorns is the first self-titled album, kind of.
Yeah. Kind of. It is and it isn't. And I like it with it because in a way, every band needs a self-titled album, and we managed to pull it off by not pulling it off. So it was a nice twist, and I like the fact that it's those who know they know our past, and it's quite funny because only as recent that I just did an interview like 10 minutes ago, and they said, "Oh, the band came with the debut album 1999," and that's quite typical. People, they don't know about the Crown of Thorns past that we actually did two albums before. Yeah, we switched to the Crown and released Hell Is Here. So it's cool to link it back to the roots in that sense.
Yeah, we, and I'm including myself. We have always to keep in mind that from the 90s we have what now, two generations,
Yeah, yeah,
three
yeah,
generations. So of course nobody can, even though nowadays we can search everything on the internet, so but still
yeah.
I like
I
what you
st-
did there.
yeah, I just think that I mean the very very early the two albums on the name Crown Thorns there was no internet and it was released on small labels. So I do get it because Hell Is Here was the first one we released with Metal Blade. So a lot of people thought it was our debut album. So but those who know they know. So yeah.
So this is not the band's way to reintroduce themselves, right?
No, this is another album, but very intentionally meant to be like a new, fresh album, like a new chapter in a sense, also.
Mhm.
And but why we sort of named it Crown of Thorns, there was a lot of details that led to that, and it's not a nostalgic trip, and we're not trying to recreate something we did in the past. It's not about that. It's more about when we sort of figured out the artwork thing, because in the artwork there's a bridge from our hometown in Trollhättan, and that sort of led to that, starting of the band and all of that. So that sort of led to, in the end, it made sense to name the album Crown of Thorns. But it's also funny because it scares some people when you do like a self-titled album because they're like, "Is this your last album?" So that's so cool.
No,
Keep people on nerve, man. That's a good thing.
as I when I said reintroduced, I meant like this is a new chapter for the band. I was
Yeah,
not even thinking about retiring.
yeah, yeah,
However, it
yeah,
was interesting to read that the artwork was kind of in the beginning of the process. How
yeah. That
early
was
did you get
yeah.
that
It,
concept?
yeah, it's never happened before. It's I believe if you ask thousand bands will respond that the artwork comes in very very late. It's usually the process. The focus is on the music, but there was, I mean, that was one of those deliberate intentions to make something different. To come up with that sort of different type of album. And as you may know, 2 years ago, Magnus left the band, and he was a very important part of the band because we usually wrote basically 50-50 the music.
Huh?
And he had this certain style, and I had my style. And so I wanted to get something different to inspire me. So I pushed for it. Like it was already 2 years ago we did that artwork.
Oh,
So yeah. So and when we figure out we wanted to use the bridge from the Trollhättan, and we decided on the black and white thing, we all felt super happy with the artwork. So I really wanted that approach to sort of start there and just focus on the artwork and sort of try to figure out, like, when you look at this, what type of song belongs to this? That was interesting. So and that's basically how it started. Everything. So how do you open an album with that cover? How do you end it? Is a brutal one? Does it need punky stuff? Does it? I mean, that was really interesting.
I was ready to pronounce the names, but I'm not gonna do that now. The name of the bridge, the name of that figure on the as you look at the bridge on the right, but I'm not.
Yeah. All right.
But so here's the catch: the bridge leads to a graveyard.
Well, that's the when we crownified it a bit, you know. So it's a if I would show it to like 10 people here in Toronto, maybe 2 or 3 would guess what it is, because obviously we made it a bit, you know, our death metal style or something. But it's based on that bridge and that feeling that it is based actually on a local thing. Where that's sort of the what feels a bit special for us at least.
So we expect to see tourists there just for.
Oh yeah, all the time, full of Japanese tourists.
You said that Marcus left, but we have Marcus back.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. And I mean, Marcus is the OG lead player in the band, and it just turned out pretty amazing. I mean, how that came up, because when Robin left the band and he used to do the solo things. I'm not much of a solo guitar player. I'm more of a rhythm guy. First of all, we knew we need a solo player, lead guitar player. And we were in the middle of, you know, writing the songs and everything, quite the end of it. And for some reason, we didn't want to really, you know, decide there and, you know, who should we call? Because to be honest, I couldn't come up with a single name I wanted to call right away, because at least, I mean, I haven't been in. Marcus left like a decade ago. Right. I mean, he wasn't. So I thought he was sort of past it, and he wasn't an option. So, but from the top of my head, I couldn't come up with dudes that I immediately wanted to call. So we sort of pushed it all the way, you know, all the time. Well, let's figure it out later. It will work out. It will work out. But then all of a sudden you realize, oh shit, we have studio booked, and you know, time actually flows, you know. So that's when we can't remember whose idea it was, but it was like, what do you think Marcus would say? You know, like, oh, and then he started to think. And the first discussion I had with Marcus was actually, do you want to do the solos on the album? We're working on a new album, so and he was right away like, yeah, man. So because I mean, he has other bands, but he doesn't do much of the lead stuff, you know, like with Syra and Engel and stuff. So I guess he sort of he accepted it right away, and he started writing solos, and then he came to my studio, to this bat cave, and you know, did some stuff, and it just felt really freaking great, you know, to have us in the same room after 10 years. So I think only a week went by, and I asked him, do you want to join the band? He was like, yeah, man. So sort of, we pushed it till the end, but when we sort of decided to ask and grow balls and ask him, so he was all like, yeah, let's do it, man. So that's really cool.
Come on, be honest. This was your plan from the beginning.
And that's what everybody thinks, that you work with this grand plan with things, but you would be amazed how much it is not planned.
Well, we will say that just to the people between you and me, we know what happened.
Those who know, they know. Yeah.
However, we have Matthias and Michael, who, although they are not new to the band, they are involved in the first making of an album, right?
Yeah.
So what correct. Did those gentlemen bring to the sound of Crown of Thorns?
Pretty much. I mean, if you put 5 ingredients and change one, it will be a change, if you want it or not. I mean, we are always a democratic band, that we want to work on the songs together, so that will add stuff or change stuff. And Matthias' contribution was that he comes from a different path than we do, but in the same time, it's quite similar. He's more from the punk crust scene. Right. But he's also like us. He started playing when he was pre-teens and always been in bands, and you know. But he's more been active in the punk scene, so to say. And as you may know, we're not completely strangers to punk stuff in the Crown as well. So and he was a friend of Henrik, our previous drummer. So that's how we sort of got into it. And in the end, he contributed to the opening track, and one of the songs that ended up as a bonus track because so opening track from a new guy, that's pretty cool. I mean,
Of
it's
course.
yeah. And Michael's input was also really cool because we go way back. Yeah, he's from Trollhättan, our city as well, and we grew up together. And he's a bit younger, and he also played in a death metal band called Impious. They were signed to Metal Blade back in the day, so we know him forever. And the cool thing is with him is that he's a super fan of the Crown. I mean, and his favorite drummer is Janne Sarenpää, our original drummer. So his input was when he got into the band, like, I know how the Crown should sound, you know, he comes from that fan perspective, and it's he brought it up, you know, why are you tuning down your guitars? I was like, well, I don't know, we did it a few years ago and we stayed there, and it's like, you never tuned down before. And I started to think about, like, why the hell are we tuning down? So it was his input to sort of tune up to D. I mean, he wanted to go all the way to E, like in the good old days, but I chickened out, said, no, let's do this in baby steps. So we went back to D, and it added a different sound to it, a different type of energy to it. And obviously he's a very Janne Sarenpää influenced drummer. I mean, he's very playful, skillful, you know, technical and all of that. So it's, they added a lot of good stuff.
What did he do in the 90s now? Because the way it starts, it sounds like he was I don't know, it was some of his ideas in this song.
You could, this is the cool thing with Michael. I wrote that drum thing. That's my thing. Yeah. Michael is a cool drummer in that sense that he can play the shit out of everyone, but he doesn't necessarily need to show it. I mean, a song like Gone to Hell, or a very simple song like Agitator, there's hardly any drum fills in it, but he knows what the song needs. And sometimes a song needs something special, and that's when he goes ape shit and he does his thing. But he's never like, oh, I need to do, you know, show how good I am. It's never about that. So that's a good thing, pretty rare within drummers, I can tell you. They always want to show how good they are. So that's a cool thing. So he can do the simple Gone to Hell 4 beats and be happy with it, because that's the intention for the song. So that's cool input.
You mentioned Gone to Hell.
Yeah.
I am smiling because you chose to have this as a music video.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you knew that some fans, especially these days, right? Everybody has an opinion. They will say, oh, the Crown have gone soft. So you did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I hate being too pleasing and in the comfort zone. And if I can stir shit up, it's all fun. Because the thing is that, as you know, we play for so long. It's not like we need to prove that we can play fast.
Yes.
I mean, you should know it. It's more interesting to show other aspects and sides of us. And I think when we pull off something like that, you know, low tempo, we keep it cool. There's no blast beats. There's no mega death metal there. You expect that the death metal police will call, you know. So that's it. So that's a cool thing, because it will become this divider, you know. And people freak out. Oh, is this what the rest of the album will be? You know, like, come on, man. Have we ever done something like that? So I mean, it's just funny. So I pushed it to be single number 1, but we chicken out.
Well, I'm sometimes we say that the metal scene is accepting, we accept everyone, but
no.
most of the times we are not. We are not allowed to go further from the small box I have put you. So don't do it. Always
it's always as fun, but there's also like it's not always about, you know, provoking or trying to be clever or something like that. There's quite natural reasons why we have those type of songs, is because we never had more than one band at a time. I mean, the Crown is the only band I ever been in. And what happens is that after you write how many songs, whatever, you start to write different type of stuff. And back in the days, as you know, like in the 90s or early 2000, every band, if they wrote a different type of song, they started a fucking side project or a new band or something like that. And that's where they put the weird ideas. But we always had this thing in the band that we can always make it work. I mean, what's so freaking dangerous about taking down the tempo or doing some instrumental stuff? I mean, if it sounds good, it's good. I mean, and that helps us to create something a bit wider. I like the fact that it's not that easy to say with like 2-3 words how we sound. I mean, if you say death metal, you might think we sound like Christian. No, we don't sound like Christian. So that's quite interesting. But it's also the downside of it is that it makes the work to get attention a bit more difficult, because I mean, if you look at how media works, I mean, they like the charts. Oh, these are the top 10 Gothenburg death metal bands. We're never on those lists because we don't fit anywhere in a sense, you know. So, but that's our thing. We are not from Gothenburg. We're not from Stockholm. We're from this little town, Trollhättan, and we're kind of proud of it. And we're used to being a bit of underdogs, and we do things our way.
And you should keep doing that. I mean,
yeah.
Although nowadays, I don't know, man, things have changed so much. People hear just one song or just a part of the song. It's a whole different. It's beyond me.
Yeah, and I mean, younger people. I mean, the attention span from them is like ridiculous. It's like I can see my son going through Spotify, 5 seconds, next. I mean, you and me, we actually bought albums, and if we thought it was like an okay album, we listened to it until it became good because we actually bought it. And so, I mean, there's a very different approach to it. So it's quite funny.
It's funny, but it's the reality.
It
cannot
is.
learn an album just by 2 listens. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
There is no way. You have to really get into that. However, going back to Gone to Hell, the next music video should be The Agitator.
Yeah, it is a cool thing. I really wanted it to be on the album because it's so simple, man. I mean, there's this one note going through the whole song, and then it's so simple. There's no drum fills, but the energy, man, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, you can feel your blood pumping harder, man.
Yeah, and blood pumping here when you do the fucking chugs on the guitar, I can tell you.
Well, that's on you.
Yeah, that's.
And then you have Where Nightmares Belong. That is another interesting song, and you have that soft ending. How did you get that idea to finish that one in that almost scary way, because it's like a nightmare?
It's like a lullaby ending in a way, and it makes sense. And Nightmares was the first song I wrote for the album, and my intention was to open the album with it. The sort of melody that's in the song, I originally had it to start with an acoustic guitar, very mellow, you know, like old school Metallica Battery or something. I mean, very dry acoustic guitar, and play the melody and the rhythm. And because the melody came to me when I wrote the melody, I felt, oh, this is good, and it sort of comes back in the song. And I also always wanted to end it with the melody. But I'd done that before with, you know, guitars or EBO, but I wanted to do it in a different way. So I came up with the thing that I don't think anyone has done this, that first Johan basically sings a cappella. There's no drums, and he just screams in, and there's this rhythm, and then you think the song is over, and then this sweet lullaby voice comes, and then it goes to the final song that is a bit epic. So it made sense in the end. So but when we moved the song from being the opening song to the middle, we removed the sort of intro part. It didn't make sense to have it there. So it's a cool song. It starts with this tempo beat that we actually never done before. It sounds so primitive, you know, like animalistic in a way, you know, very primitive. So, and then this melody comes in, and it's a cool song.
You mentioned the change of the guitar tuning, and I'm trying to connect this with the album production and the mixing and mastering. And for that, you worked with Jonas Selgren.
Yeah, Shellgren. Yeah.
Yes. So why did you choose to work with him?
Well, that was also one of those decisions to make things different and fresh and new. And I mean, Cobra Speed, Venom, and Royal Destroyer were recorded at Studio Fredman. Same artist did the artwork. There's a lot of similarities there, and we wanted to work with someone else. And what we decided on that, since I work with audio as well, I recorded the album, but I didn't want to mix it because that's not really. I can mix other bands since I do it a lot, but that's more easier because that's when I have the sort of helicopter view on things, when it's another people's production. But it's quite difficult when you start to mix your own stuff because you basically never satisfied because you don't really know what you want. I mean, it's quite difficult. It becomes too personal. And Jonas, he's a Crown fan. We know him from before. A lot of audio work he's done. Not maybe my favorite bands what he's done, but audio-wise, very strong stuff. I mean, he's worked with like Sabaton and stuff like that. That's really not maybe my area. But I mean, audio-wise, very good, very skilled. And since he's familiar with the Crown stuff, we don't need to sort of explain to him the approach we were going for, because we wanted to have real drums, real performances. Do not fucking edit it till, you know, perfection. It is what it is, and all of that kind of stuff. And like the first mix he sent to us, it was so close to what you hear on the album because he got it right away. Like, we need loud bass guitar, vocals need to be up here front. I mean, stuff like that. You didn't even need to explain to him. And since I recorded everything, I usually record what is called that you commit to tape, you commit to a sound. I tweak and EQ everything on the way in, so to say. So I know what I want sound-wise. So for him, it was like raising faders, the sounds were there, and then it did his magic, you know, with whatever tools he has, and turned out great. And he also has this sort of input that we never had before from producers, where they actually have some ideas, you know, we should do the delays there and maybe add a timpani tom there, and, you know, so I was like, go nuts, man, you know, do whatever you want and let's see how it sounds. So he did a great job. It sounds punchy, fat, and also we decided I didn't need to sort of talk him into it. I said that for the first time, we're not going to overdub the rhythm guitars, because I sort of realized that myself, since I work with audio, that it's an old silly rule. It's not necessary nowadays to do it. There was a reason you did that in the 80s and 90s, because you want a bigger sound, but there's other ways of getting a big guitar sound. So it's actually not overdubbed. There's one guitar on the left, one on the right, melodies in the middle, that's it. And probably one of the guitars on every song is basically the first take on the rhythms. So it is what we like. We don't like to capture performances. And also with the drums, there's no editing. It's real drums. It's not the samples and stuff. Kick drums might be blended with a sample, but that's for other reasons. But so that's the way we like it, man. And if you listen to some song and think, oh, he's a bit off there on guitar, it just means that I'm a lousy guitarist. And I can live with that. That's not an issue. I mean, our goal isn't to go into a studio and ask someone to make us into perfection. Because then I don't know if it's an old school way of thinking, but I like to capture what we perform. I think it's a cool thing.
And especially because we, the fans, and maybe the old school fans, I like to hear in the recording what I hear live. Because sometimes bands live are totally different.
Oh yeah. I think we have all seen bands like that. It's like, what? When you see it live,
what song is that? What are they playing right now? I have no idea.
Or if it's super tight live, it's like, oh, okay, everything is backing tracks. Okay, so I mean, this is like a totally different approach to it. But,
absolutely.
So that was quite interesting, and I think in the end he did what we needed: something sort of modern sounding, but not too clinical, and it's punchy. Yep. It's all the good stuff you want in a metal production.
2 short questions, and I will let you go. First, you have 3 bonus. I hate that bonus. You have 3 songs that did not fit into the vinyl, right?
It's basically, you're onto something, because this is the thing. I hate bonus tracks. And it's not like I wake up a morning and say, today I'm going to write a bonus song. You know what I mean? So the intention is that I write a song. If we like it, it's going to be on the album. And that was the original plan. All 13 songs would be on the album. But then you mix up stuff like business, record labels, and there's an opinion that, oh, we need bonus songs. So our first idea was we were just going to say, we don't have any bonus songs. This is what you get, you know? But that didn't fly well, you know? So because still today, I mean, it's a bit outdated idea that you need, put a bonus song on the digipack and, you know, stuff like to, you know, sell different formats. Because it's actually in the end quite silly, because you can call it bonus track or whatever. Shit is available on Spotify and all these, you know, platforms anyway.
Right.
So we decided that, okay, let's go old school. Let's pick 10 songs and, you know, call it the album and rest is bonus. But they could have easily been on the album. But yeah, he says, yeah, we can stretch the truth and say it was for the vinyl, man.
Yeah, no, it is. And I like that you have an edition that those three are in a 7-inch.
Yeah, that was the sort of compromise in a way, because he said, okay, if you want the bonus, we need something special. And we did the Eternal Infernal vinyl thing for the 7-inch. So that was cool thing. It's very limited
perfect.
thing.
It's perfect. Touring plans. I think you have just 2 days announced the Gothenburg Hall of Metal.
Yeah, it's we are a bit late with the planning and announcing, but we are working on it. We want to promote the album worldwide, and we definitely want to hit territories we haven't played before. That's a high priority, and we would love to jump on as like an opening act to another tour, because I think doing this for so long, what really makes me tick is that the opportunity to reach out to new people. Yes. Obviously, it's great to play clubs and play for the fans, and they sing along to every freaking song. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling. But I also want to reach out to new people, and obviously, festivals is one thing. But I mean, if we would open for, to be honest, we could easily open up for fucking Testament or Creator or something like that. We could make it work, you know, and that will give us an opportunity to reach out to new people who are sort of into the metal or a bit extreme, and that will be really, really great. But yes, we are working on it, and we are gonna tour and play, and I'm pretty sure we'll announce something within a month or something.
Is there a plan to cross the Atlantic?
There is a plan, man. It is a plan. So it's only, 22 years ago we did it, so it's about time. So it's cool. I mean, we've talked about territories like Australia, South America, you know, going back to the States, even exotic stuff like South Korea, you know. I mean those type of cool things it's really cool that it's still happening after all these years. It's not like, okay, let's go to this tour we've done for 30 years. I mean, that's not inspiring. So it's cool that new opportunities and territories comes up.
The only comment I will make before I will let you go is that when you are part of a big tour, the first couple of bands do not get the same sound and lights. And that's unfair.
That's unfair, and that's the downside. But well, what I've learned is that you don't want to be the first opening band on the you want to be somewhere up there, you know,
closer
maybe
to the headline,
so that you get a better chance, because I've seen some terrible things. People are so excited, you know, we are the opening band for this and this band. I mean, it's going to be huge. But when they play 6 o'clock, there's not even people there. Right. It's like, wow, ouch. So, but let's see what happens.
Yes, absolutely. Marko, thank you very much for your time. Love the new album. Thanks, and cool. Hope to see the Crown here in Chicago.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.